Hello everyone, it's Catherine Brown here on behalf of the Fruition Partners marketing team. I do apologise for the slight delay in starting this, but thank you to everyone who has joined us today and welcome to our webinar on software asset management. Today's webinar will be approximately 30 minutes long and will be recorded. We will be demonstrating exactly how ServiceNow's software asset management can enable your organisation to utilise a single system of action to help you seamlessly transform from reactive software asset management practices to a proactive culture that is always audit ready and optimises licence spend. Now we have two speakers today, Alan Johnson, General Manager at Fruition Partners and who has been in the business for almost 20 years, and Mark Flexman, Technical Team Manager, who has been with Fruition for almost 4 years and has worked with ServiceNow since 2011. So a wealth of experience between them. If you have any questions for either Alan or Mark during the webinar, please use the GoToWebinar question box on the right-hand side, and we'll do our very best to answer them at the end of the session. So without further ado, I will hand over to Alan to start the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving up your valuable time to attend this webinar. So yeah, I'm the General Manager at Fruition UK. We are effectively the ServiceNow practice within DXC. We're a global practice. I think there's a number of customers on the line, so hopefully if you don't know us, what we do is ServiceNow within the DXC organisation. I'm lucky to have Mark along today. Mark's a very experienced team manager and also a consultant, also has many years of software asset management under his belt. So any questions you have, please fire them to us as we speak. So Fruition Partners is a DXC company. I think Fruition is probably a company that's well known, hopefully, within the ServiceNow community. We've had over 500-600 successful implementations. We are one of the few global strategic partners that work with ServiceNow, and that's pretty much what we do at Fruition. We do ServiceNow projects for all the key verticals, and you know, customer success is our key value. So today's session is around software asset management, as Catherine said. Why is this important? Well, this is a small slide deck to introduce the concepts of software asset management to you if you don't know it, and I'm sure a lot of you do. And then Mark's going to do a live demonstration of the new software asset management module within ServiceNow afterwards. So three main things really here. With license complexity, there's a high risk of cost, exposure to cost within an organization. That could be a compliance risk. So if we're out of compliance with our licensing modules and with the models with our vendors, we could potentially be exposed to risk at being under licensed. There's also the risk of auditors coming in and looking at our organization and finding we are underfunded and have exposure around number of licenses we're using against what we're paying for. Also with traditional tools, so there is an opportunity to also, we may be under capacity, so we may have potentially licenses that aren't used. There's an opportunity to actually either reuse those or perhaps even reduce the cost of our licenses. Things aren't being used properly. The third one is, when in the current world with complex license modules like the Microsoft and Oracle ones, they're hard to understand. So ServiceNow makes that simpler to actually look at how those modules work and how we're in or out of compliance. So in the news, another reason for doing this is probably reputational loss and cost. If you as an organisation are found to be outside of your license capacity, then there are reputational costs to you. Also, the cost of overspending. So it's something that you don't want to get into the news. People at the register, organisations like that will be delighted to report if you're out, you'll have a law case against you. It's not a good position to put your CIO in against the board. So according to Gartner, 21% now of all IT budgets is spent on IT software and licensing. This is growing, so this is one of the things that we're tracking. Allows you to track that in ServiceNow as well, but it's a growing trend. So as well as being in or out of compliance, there's an issue about cost. Could we use that spend better and more wisely? And there's an opportunity to optimize what we use within the organization. ServiceNow allows you to do that within the toolset, as we'll show you in the demonstration later. So how does it work? Well, going back to traditional, we've been doing this for a fair while at Fruition Partners. So really before ServiceNow, IT operations and software asset management was quite a brittle integration, or they had integrations with other tools that perhaps had the master data in them. The reason that ServiceNow, if you're not a user, one of the great reasons to move to ServiceNow is the single system of record. So we can keep an end-to-end record of all software asset management and all software assets throughout their life cycle. So the important thing here is from procurement through to deployment through to retirement, their usage and metering can be tracked within ServiceNow, so the organization gets the best benefit out of our license expenditure. The value proposition here is that everything is within ServiceNow. You don't need any integrations necessarily with other tools. So from discovery of software items being discovered that they're being used, actively used by users, through to auditing and tracking can all be done within ServiceNow. Using the workflow and the automation within ServiceNow, we can also harvest software assets. So if we're not using assets, for example, they can be moved to other people, for example, or perhaps optimized and used by other solutions. So the value proposition is that we can do it all within the same platform. So in summary, there was a very good reason for moving this to ServiceNow. For the people on the call that are ServiceNow users at the moment, they may be using software asset management within ServiceNow. There is a new module now that allows you to have a supported model for doing this within ServiceNow, a supported module that allows you to have it all in one system. There's no need to manually move things between different items and different jobs. It gives you a proactive approach to software asset management, and importantly, gives you a real-time view of your compliance at any given time. Using the portal and the reporting tools, there's a single pane of glass on your software assets. See if there could be any cost savings that could be made. Allows the C-level directors to make informed decisions on where to deploy or remove assets. Using the reporting tools, as we'll show you later, we can have a real-time analysis that shows you trends of usage, for example, and where we're potentially exposed in an organization. It allows you to be audit ready. So if in case the auditors come knocking, you can't have any nasty surprises. We'll know instantly our exposure on software assets and licenses. Using the automation workflow engine within ServiceNow, we can streamline the SAM process and go to the lengths using orchestration, if you have that, of actually harvesting licenses within the infrastructure. So how does it work? Well, this introduces a concept of normalization. So hopefully you're using ServiceNow Discovery, but if you aren't, ServiceNow can integrate with other discovery tools. So the discovery piece actually finds out what's in the infrastructure, what's being used, what the license metering is. That's all fed up into ServiceNow and allows you to normalize it against complex software models. So in previous versions of ServiceNow, this could be done, but it was quite a complex data mapping job to actually map software assets against the fairly complex license models that are behind these. It allows you to track very accurately where these assets are used. So the term here is a normalization engine. This is a new part of the product that is done automatically. You don't have to do anything. As we'll find out in a minute, that's done automatically by ServiceNow, and it's something that's maintained by ServiceNow, so you don't have to maintain those complex software models. Some examples here. So the central ServiceNow maintain a central library of software models. So there are two at the moment. There's Oracle and Microsoft, as we'll see in a second. Again, these are pushed down to your instances from ServiceNow and maintained by ServiceNow. We'd recommend, this is an option that you have this maintenance, but we recommend you sign up for this so that you're never out of date and don't have to maintain these complex software models within your own instances. Conversely, any unrecognized data, again, if you sign up for it, we recommend you do, is pushed back up to ServiceNow. So, for example, if there are strange and wonderful software license models that aren't known within the library, those would be recognised by ServiceNow as unrecognised and pushed up to the central library, and then gives ServiceNow the opportunity to create those software models and push them down to all instances. We consider this a balancing act, so you know, the C-level executives are always looking at, you know, balancing the risk of being in or out of compliance. So having a real-time view of your software asset management you know, estate is actually pretty key in maintaining a healthy position, you know, in terms of being within auditable levels, and also using the investment you've made in software asset lifecycle, software assets rather, in a more effective way. We're going to show you some of the dashboards in the demonstration that's coming up, so I'm not going to dwell too much on this slide. So, but in real time, these are some of the examples of things you can see. So you don't, this could be a higher level management view of our exposure, for example, and the costs of perhaps truing up our software asset exposure to in real time. The other thing here is the concept of harvesting. So, you know, if we have licenses that we found that are in or not in use, you know, those are tracked in real time. We can have reclamation rules. Okay, so we're going to show you these in the demonstration, where automatically these licenses can be reclaimed. We can save money, or we can move them to other people if they're not being used. That can be fully automated using ServiceNow orchestration, or if you haven't got the orchestration piece, we don't want to go there, it could be via a you know, workflow or a process within the ServiceNow platform. So in terms of the software models, there's two main publisher packs at the moment available in Jakarta. These are for Microsoft, as you can see all the entitlement products there, and also Oracle. These two have been picked first because I think they're very commonly used, and I think they're viewed within the IT industry as being two of the most complex to track and maintain yourself. Using the power of performance analytics, even if you're not a performance analytics licensed user at the moment, there is an element of the software asset management plugin that allows you to have compliance trends and historical trends that are tracked within the toolset. So that's a big plus within this software plugin. We'll be showing these in a minute. So the roadmap at the moment, if you're moving to Jakarta, we have you know, the ability to normalize, reconcile, remediate, and optimize software assets in real time to levels of automation that could be, you know, fully orchestrated with automatic harvesting, or, you know, done with workflows. Performance analytics, there is a cut down, a lighter version of PA that's provided with the plugin that allows you to have the historical reporting and trending, and two publisher packs which are separately purchasable but available at the moment, the Oracle and Microsoft ones. Coming in Kingston, the exciting things are even better analysis, but what if analysis coming. So, you know, if you change things around, what difference will that make on your exposure, for example, allows you to do some modeling. And also further cloud enterprise licensing coming. Again, performance analytics is a key part of the software asset management product. That's going to be maintained with other publisher packs coming. Within Kingston at the moment, certainly is going to be an IBM and a VMware pack coming to supplement the Oracle and Microsoft ones. The upgrade paths, very quickly, if you're using the SAM plugin at the moment, there is an automated upgrade to Jakarta and Kingston. It's not sure, we're not sure, absolutely sure what ServiceNow are going to do after that, but we'd recommend, if you're using software asset management, to purchase the plugin and really to purchase the professional service models as well. We think that's a really good solution. It takes the overhead off of your organization to maintain the models and some of the workflows behind it. So the pricing model, very quickly before we move on to the demo. In the red square, if you buy the plugin, you get the full entitlement to do normalization, harvesting, reconciliation, and optimization. There is a library, an entitlement library that comes with the toolset. We're going to show you this in a second in the live demo. You get a cut down version of PA, Performance Analytics, that allows you to do historical and trending reporting. Separate to that, two purchasable packs for Oracle and Microsoft, as I mentioned previously, publisher packs. We'd recommend that if you use either of those within your organization, they're well worth the investment. As I mentioned before, the VMware and IBM ones coming in the Kingston release. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is hand over to Mark Flexman, who Mark's going to show you a live demonstration on a ServiceNow instance and take you through some of the concepts I've introduced. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Alan. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Bear with me as I bring up my instance. So I'm logged into my instance with Software Asset Management, and you'll see that I have a new application listed. It's helpfully kept the same name as the old original one, but you'll see here that's now given me a number of different menu items. Now the main place to go through will be through the overview dashboard, so I'll just click on that. And this is the one that Alan showed you in his presentation. You'll see here your real-time true-up costs. In other words, the total value of all software licenses that you have that are over-deployed. So in this example, you'll need to spend over £181,000 to bring yourself up to a validation. And you'll see that a number of publishers out of compliance, and you can see that I have a number of products out of compliance. In this case, I have 13 products. Now this is a demo instance, so the data is quite basic here, but for the example of this demo, I do have the Oracle and the Microsoft publisher packs installed. And if you want to restrict the view here, you can select individual publishers. So in our example, I'll show you Microsoft. And you'll see my dashboard has now changed to give you the specific information relating to my Microsoft products. So it's one publisher, Microsoft, and I've got 6 products out of compliance. And you'll see here that they're listed on the left-hand side. So what I'm going to do is look more closely at project. So if I open that up from the left-hand graph, you see here I can see my product results, which have been derived from discovery and the reconciliation. And you can see that I'm not compliant for project. So I can open up that record and see more information relating to that non-compliance. So you'll see on this window that I have 40 unlicensed installs. And that will cost me $39.5-ish thousand to resolve. But you can also see that I've got a potential saving of just over $29,000. And this saving is derived from the fact that I've got products out there, licenses out there that aren't being used. And I'll come on to reclamation in a second. So let's have a closer look at the unlicensed installs. So by clicking on that tab, you can see that I've got 40 users or 40 assets, 40 computers that have been found to be using project, but without a corresponding license. We talked about reclamation. Here we've got 34, potentially 34 users that haven't used project within the remit that we've defined. And so I could reclaim those and retrieve the money and reissue the license to someone else. I'll come on to reclamation rules in a second. So let's have a closer look at software model results. If you remember, we have this non-compliance record, and I can now go in and take a look at why I'm not compliant. So you see here, I've got the right to install 115 licenses. So that's my current entitlement. I have 115 licenses. And at the top on the right-hand side, you can see that I'm not compliant for 40, as we've seen. You see here that this record has given me some remediation options. So the remediation option is to buy 40 licenses at a cost of $40,000. So if I click on this record, I can see the detail. Here you can see a list of all the 40 workstations, the various workstations that have got project installed without a license. But what can I do about this? Well, it just so happens that I'm a seasoned ServiceNow customer, and I've got the procurement module and application installed. And you'll see from this window, I can actually create a purchase order directly from this window. So you can see here that it's already pre-populated what I need to buy. All I need to do is fill out the relevant details. And off we go. Okay, I'm not going to do any more because it won't work, to be honest with you. And obviously I do understand that not everybody has the procurement application installed. But with many things, ServiceNow can integrate with many third-party applications to achieve the same result. But I'm going to skip this section. So what happens once you've got the software delivered? So procurement, place the purchase order, the license details come back in through to you. Well, what you would do is you would open and create a software entitlement. So let's create a new record here as if I've got those 40 licenses that have come through. So software entitlements are basically records that tell you what licenses you have and how you can deploy the product. So here I've created a new record. My asset tag in my organization is specific to me, but you could put anything in this window. We have a specific way of defining things. Now the publisher part numbers, because I've bought the publisher pack for Microsoft, if I open up this reference window, I've now got the ability to look at all nearly 5,000 different publisher part numbers that Microsoft have issued. And these relate to the specific products that you've got. However, I know that my part number is H30-05612, and that relates to Microsoft Project 2016 Professional. I can now select two product types. Microsoft give an upgrade option as well as a full. These 40 licenses that I've purchased are full licenses. The metric group is common, Microsoft or Oracle. Again, these two appear because I've got those publisher packs. I'm going to select Microsoft. And the license metric options it gives me are again because I've got that publisher pack. So Microsoft do a number of different license metrics. In this case, I've bought 40 full licenses that are per device. And I can now record the agreement type. And this is basically generic or enterprise-wide. Again, as you know, some of you may know, Microsoft provide enterprise license agreements. In our case, it's generic. And the purchase rights, as we've said, I've purchased 40. And I'm going to save that record. So now you see a number of different tabs have appeared. Here I can now enter information either manually, or if I've got integration with a procurement module or anything like that, this info could be pre-populated or automatically populated. So the financial tab would give me that purchase order information. The contracts tab, I can record the contract and support information. And here I can also have device allocations. Now, as far as device allocations are concerned, I could use the tool to manually assign each of these licenses to a device. Now, I know, for example, that my mate Wayne hasn't got a license, so I could select his PC and manually assign one of those 40 licenses to him. You don't need to, but you could. And this basically ensures that that one person is always licensed. So now if I run a reconciliation, I will be showing as compliant for the product. Let's just save that. But before we do that, let's look a bit closer at software models. So for Microsoft Project particularly, you'll see on this record that I now have two entitlements. I have my original record for 115 licenses, and then I have my new one for 40. It's showing a zero cost because for this demo I didn't put in that information, but you would when you create that software entitlement record. Here on the Discovery Mapping tab, you can see how we discover software instances and link them to this entitlement. So you can see here that the version will start with 2016 and the edition is professional and it's on the Windows platform. We can also view the vendor information. And for example, here, if procurement purchased directly from a vendor, we can record that information directly in these fields. So now I'm able to run a reconciliation. So reconciliation can be run on demand, or normally we would schedule this to happen overnight on a regular basis, usually every day. It can take time to complete, especially for a large number of workstations and software items. So ServiceNow recommends running on demand for specific publishers rather than all. So here, because I'm showing you a demo on Project, I'm just going to run it on Microsoft. So let's open up that record. And this will just take a few seconds to complete. Here we go. And if you look at Project, you can now see that I'm compliant. So let's open that up. And open up that compliance record. You'll see that I'm fully compliant. I've got now 155 licenses, and it's all hunky-dory. So if we now go back to the dashboard, you can see that I now have only 5 products out of compliance, so my true-up cost for Microsoft products has reduced. The potential savings, however, are still the same because we haven't tried to reclaim any licenses yet. And you'll see on the left-hand side, Project has disappeared. It still remains on the right-hand side because of that reclamation. So you can see here that I have a number of installs, and I could potentially save £22,000 retrieving project licenses. Now I can select a user and seek approval from them to remove the install, or configure the system to do this automatically via SCCM. If I bring this up, you'll see that I've got all these candidates. Now using the workflow that comes with SAM, you can automatically reclaim that license or seek approval using the approval workflow because the user might actually be using it and need it for a specific purpose. So if we look at the reclamation rules, let me just show an example here for Project. So here I'm saying that if Project hasn't been used in the last 3 months for at least 5 hours, then it becomes a reclamation candidate. Okay, and these are configurable. You can manually set these to whatever you want. But in our case, for this example, it uses the license usage information from SCCM, and it incorporates that into the records and brings up your reclamation candidates. A couple of other things to show you before I finish is the other tabs on the overview. You'll see that we've got an optimization tab. So this is where you can see that detailed information on reclamation states. So you can see that I've got a number of active reclamations on different states. And you can see quickly on the dashboard how much I've saved per month. If I just show you quickly the compliance analysis, this is what Alan was alluding to with trend analysis and compliance records. And again, this comes out the box. And that's my demonstration finished.
Thank you, Alan and Mark. Now, several of you have asked about the cost of SAM, and we will get back to you individually to discuss this as soon as possible. And if you haven't asked about the cost but would like to know, then please message us now. We've had a few technical questions to answer, but it looks like we've run out of time to get through these all today. So we'll get back to each of you individually again as soon as possible. Thank you again for attending our webinar. We do hope that you found it informative and helpful. There is a data sheet which is available to download on the right-hand side, and we will send you the link to the webinar very soon should you have any colleagues that may wish to watch. And if you'd like any further advice on SAM, please don't hesitate to contact either Alan or Graham Brown at Fruition Partners. And if you are already a Fruition customer, then please contact your Fruition account manager. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.